Good morning, Gophers and Wolves. Today is International Hamburger Day, so I hope you might get a chance to try out a hamburger. All right, let's look and see what those Israelites are up to today. The Battle of Jericho. So remember, they've been in the desert for a long time, and they weren't faithful, so they were told they had to stay for 40 extra years before they could have a chance to go into the city. After the spies were safe, God told Joshua, "March your army around Jericho with the priests blowing their horns. Do this once a day for 6 days. On the 7th day, have your army march around the city 7 times. Joshua did exactly as God said. Can you imagine walking all the way around Madison 7 times? That would take a very long time to do. The priests blew their trumpets. The soldiers shouted as loud as they could. Then the great wall of Jericho came tumbling down. The Israelite army rushed in and took over the city. The spies kept their promise to Rahab. Her whole family was saved. All right, let's take a look at your math for today. All right, we're going to be talking about Noah and his family. If you remember back a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about Noah and the ark. So we're going to do some math related to Noah and his ark. I'm going to need my little whiteboard here to help write out some of these problems. Okay. God told Noah that the ark was to be 50 cubits wide and 30 cubits high. What is the difference between the width and the height? So let's read this again so we know what numbers to put in there and whether we are adding or subtracting. Listen for your detective words. God told Noah that the ark was to be 50 cubits wide and 30 cubits high. So whenever we write this out, we always should put the larger number on top. It will help us to decide later when we're adding or subtracting, we'll know that we have them in the right spot. All right. So 50 is my larger number, that's going to go on top. And 30 is my smaller number that will go on bottom. Then we can look and see what is the difference between the width and the height. The phrase difference means we need to subtract. So we're going to put this sign here, the subtraction. You need to subtract 0 from 0 and 5 from 3 for your answer. Let's move on to number 2. God told Noah to take 2 of every kind of animal. What is the sum of 2 rabbits, 2 frogs, and 2 cats? I'm going to write that out just like you are going to write it on your paper. So we have 2 rabbits, 2 frogs, and 2 cats. So 2 rabbits, 2 frogs, 2 cats. And what does that equal? Now, whenever we're adding these, we can use a little trick when we're adding all sorts of groups of 2. We can just count by 2. So we can go 2, 4, and if you add that third 2 in there, you'll find your answer. All right, number 3. Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their 3 wives, and all the animals went on the ark. How many people lived on the ark? In all. In all tells us we need to add up all of those people together. So let's draw those people out. Let me grab my eraser. Things are falling all over the place. Now, they give you a little box to help you add. Let's start by adding Noah. You draw it in your little box here, and I'm going to draw it on there. So I'm going to draw Noah. And then he has a wife. So this is going to be Noah's wife. And then they have 3 sons. 1, 2, 3. Give them all nice little bodies. And then they all have their wives too. There are 3 wives for 3 boys. So we'll give them each their wives. And now you just need to count and see how many people you have. So Noah, his wife, their 3 sons, and their 3 wives. Count all of those people and it will tell you how many people lived on the ark. All right, let's move on to question number 4. Rain fell on the earth for 40 days. About how much longer than 1 month did rain fall? Use 30 days as 1 month. So we know our 2 numbers are going to be rain fell on the earth for 40 days, and we know 1 month is going to be 30 days. So we're going to put that larger number on top. All right, we got our tens column and ones column. So got our 40 on top, our 30 on bottom. And now we want to know how much longer it is. So how much longer is going to be a key phrase to tell us we should subtract 0 minus 0 and 4 minus 3 to figure out what our answer is for number 4. All right. Now we're going to turn over our page, and it's kind of a cool thing you get to do on this page. It gives you options to figure out which one of these problems is the correct problem to find your answer. We'll do it together. John Paul has 5 red cars and 7 blue cars in his toy box. How many cars does he have in all? So we need to figure out which one of these problems will help us find the answer. So John Paul has 5 red cars. So I'm going to look for a problem that has the number 5 in it. We see all 3 do. And 7 blue cars. So I need to find a problem that has 7. We know it's not the bottom one. So it's this one or that one. How many cars did he have in all? In all is one of those detective words that tells us we should add. So we're going to add 5 plus 7. So you can fill in that bubble. 5 plus 7. And then you're going to add 5 plus 7 and write your answer right in the box. Let's move on to number 6. Andrea lost her 12 new crayons. She found 6 of them. How many more does she have to find? So our 2 numbers are 12 and 6. So you need to find which of these has 12 and 6. And then how many more is our detective phrase telling us to subtract. So we should have 12 and 6, and we should be subtracting. Fill in the bubble that shows you 12, subtract 6, and find your answer to right here. Number 7. What is the difference between 11 and 7? So you know your numbers are 11 and 7, and you're finding the difference. Difference is a detective word telling us to subtract. So 11 subtract 7. Fill in the bubble and then figure out your answer to right here. Number 8. Titus sold 8 boxes of cookies to raise money for missions. If he sells 3 more boxes, how many will he have sold all together? So we know we need the numbers 8 and 3, and all together means we should be adding them. So fill in the bubble for the one that's going to tell you 8 and 3 added together. and then do the math problem and write your answer here. Number 9. Nate has an aquarium with 6 red fish, 4 blue fish, and 2 orange fish. How many fish are in Nate's aquarium? Now, we know we need to add these together because all 3 options are adding. Now, we need to make sure everything is in the correct column. I don't see 64 on here, and I don't see 42. I see the numbers 6, 4, and 2, so they should be separated as 6, 4, and 2. Fill in the bubble that has 6 plus 4 plus 2, and then add those together to write in your answer. Number 10, when 4 is added to a number, the total is 9. What is that number? So 4 plus what equals 9? 4 plus what equals 9? Fill in the bubble, and then remember you start at 4 and count how many it takes to get to 9 for your answer. Let's look at your phonics. A family treasure. All right, this is going to have us circling the word that should begin with an uppercase letter. I'll read a sentence and tell you how many there should be in this sentence. What is going on with the Martin family? We need to remember first that there are some things that should always be uppercased. The first word in a sentence, names of people, places, and the letter I whenever it's by itself as its own word. So, what is going on with the Martin family? There are 2 in this sentence. One is a name, one is the first letter in the sentence. The second sentence, they like to work and play together. There's 1 in this sentence. The third sentence, after lunch, the family will go outside. There is 1 in this sentence. The fourth sentence, they will cut the grass and rake the leaves. There is 1 in this sentence. Then they will clip the hedges and paint the fence. There is 1 in that sentence. All right. For supper, Mr. Martin will grill hamburgers and make ice cream. I wonder if he knows it's an International Hamburger Day. For that sentence, there are going to be 3. 2 of them are part of a name. Then the last sentence, won't this be a great family day? There is 1 in that sentence. We're going to be doing the same thing for this part and on this side, but then you're going to write it out the proper way. So rewrite the sentence, adding the uppercase letter and the ending. Should it have a period, a question mark, an exclamation point? I love my family. There is 1 of those letters that needs to be uppercased. I love my family. Is that a question? Or are you telling someone something? If you're telling them, it should have a period. If it's a question like, do you love your family? Then it would have a question mark. All right. We're going to keep doing that on this side. We have a big house. Is that a question? Or is that a statement? Are you telling them? There is 1 in that sentence. That should be uppercased. The second one, is the house green? Is that a question? Or is that a statement? And there is 1 word that should be uppercased. It is white. Is that a question? Or are you telling them? And there's 1 that should be uppercased. How many live in the house? Is that a question, or are you telling them the number? The Then remember, there's one that should be uppercased. 6 people live in our big house. Remember, is this a question or are you telling them? And then there's one that should be uppercased. All right. Please remember to keep reading and working on IXL. I'm so happy to see how hard you all work. Have a great day.